You have been told your entire life that the world is a fair place, that if you work hard, if you play by the rules, and if you simply do the right thing, then good things will come to you. But what if that is the most insidious lie of all? What if the very principles you hold dear are the chains that bind you to failure? For centuries, the wisdom of the world has been whispering a different truth, a brutal, unsettling truth that most are too afraid to hear. It's a truth first laid bare by a man whose very name became synonymous with the forbidden arts of power, a man who looked upon the world not as it should be, but as it truly is. He saw that a man who wishes to make a profession of goodness will come to ruin among so many who are not good. This isn't about becoming evil. It's about ceasing to be naive. Imagine a young man, a sculptor named Lysander in ancient Athens. He was a master of his craft, his hands could breathe life into marble. His statues were so pure, so honest in their form, they seemed to weep with emotion. And Lysander believed that his talent, his dedication, and his virtue would speak for themselves. He followed every rule, he spoke with unwavering honesty, and he refused to flatter a single wealthy patron. He was, in every sense of the word, a good man. But Lysander's workshop was empty. His rival, a sculptor named Damon, was a lesser artist. His statues lacked the soul of Lysander's. But Damon was a master of a different craft. He knew which wine the wealthy patrons preferred. He knew how to speak to their vanity. He would laugh at their shallow jokes and whisper praises to their families. He didn't sell his art. He sold an image. He sold an experience. And while Lysander was busy perfecting his next masterpiece, Damon was being celebrated, lauded, and commissioned for works far beyond his skill. Lysander was honest but predictable. He was principled but powerless. He clung to the rules, and his rival bent them to his will. You see this everywhere. The person who gets the promotion isn't always the most competent. It's often the one who is the most charming, the most adaptable. The person who gets the praise isn't the one who did the heavy lifting, but the one who knew the right person to impress. And while you're sitting there frustrated, wondering why people can't see your value, they are busy making sure they appear valuable, whether they are or not. This is the hard lesson. This is the brutal awakening. If you are losing despite doing everything right, then right might be wrong for this world. So let me ask you, will you continue to hope the game will change? Or will you learn to play it better? We're going to venture into a place most people don't dare to tread. We're going to uncover the hidden truths about power, perception, and what it truly takes to survive. If you want to see what lies beyond the veil of noble lies, then make sure you're subscribed and follow along. We're just getting started. The whispers of Master Theron echo through the ages, not because he was evil, but because he was a realist. He looked at the ancient world and saw that its foundations weren't built on truth, but on perception. Power didn't flow to the pure-hearted. It flowed to those who understood how humans actually behave and used that understanding to control outcomes. He knew that the world doesn't reward goodness, it rewards strength. Now, before you recoil from that, let's look at some of the most revered tales in history. We've been taught since childhood that our heroes were paragons of virtue. But were they? Let's peel back the layers and examine the choices they made. Consider the story of the great King David, a shepherd boy who became a king, a man after God's own heart. We see him defeat Goliath with a stone and a sling, a testament to faith and bravery. But that is only the beginning of the story. Once he was hunted by King Saul, David didn't simply wait for a miracle. He became a master of perception. He pretended to be insane to escape his enemies, a cunning act to save his life. Later, when he had King Saul at his mercy in a cave, he didn't just kill him. He cut off a piece of his robe, a powerful symbolic act. It was a demonstration of strength and mercy, a political move that solidified his image as a rightful heir, not a ruthless usurper. It was a performance, a carefully curated act of strength that was meant for an audience, and it worked. He didn't win with blind faith alone. He won by knowing how to play the game of men. Or consider the story of Jacob from the Old Testament. He wanted the birthright of his twin brother Esau. What did he do? He didn't pray for it. He didn't ask God to grant him favor. He used strategy. He bought it for a bowl of lentil stew, an act that seemed underhanded and opportunistic. And later, With his mother's help, he deceived his blind father to receive the blessing meant for his brother. These are not acts of simple, pure goodness. These are acts of cunning, of strategic deception. Yet, he is remembered as a father of a nation, a man whose name was changed to Israel, meaning he who wrestles with God. He wrestled with God, yes, but he wrestled with men first, and he didn't always play fair. These stories aren't meant to condemn our heroes. They are meant to reveal the truth that is hidden beneath the layers of idealism. The truth that survival and leadership often require more than just virtue. The most successful people in history, from the ancient prophets to the modern titans of industry, understood that their moral code meant nothing if it led to their ruin. They understood that the world doesn't operate on ideals, it operates on outcomes. Master Theron, the wise Roman philosopher, once said to his disciples, "It is not necessary for a prince to have all the good qualities, but it is very necessary to appear to have them." Let that sink in. You don't have to be good, you just have to look good when it counts. Morality isn't useless. It's a tool. It's a weapon you wield when it serves you, and a mask you wear when you need to. It is the armor that can protect you, yes, but in some fights it can also slow you down, make you predictable, and get you killed. The truly powerful know when to be kind and when to be ruthless. They know when to show compassion and when to use fear. Not because they are heartless, but because they understand this brutal truth. Most people don't respond to goodness. They respond to strength. Strength in the real world doesn't come from purity. It comes from perception, from knowing what image to project, what role to play, and when to do it. So when you walk into a room with your heart on your sleeve, expecting that your honesty will earn respect, understand this. Someone else is walking in with a carefully constructed image, a smile they rehearsed, and a plan to take control. And guess who's walking out with the deal? The world isn't listening to your intentions. It's watching your actions. It's watching who appears powerful, who moves the pieces, who isn't afraid to get their hands dirty. If you are finding yourself frustrated, if you've been doing everything right and still feel like you're losing, then perhaps it's time to stop confusing what should be with what is. If you found a glimmer of truth in these words, let me know in the comments below and consider sharing this with someone who needs to hear it. This conversation is just getting started. We have looked at the past, at the stories that were never quite what we thought they were. We've seen that in the ancient world, as in our own, the game of survival is played not with ideals, but with strategy. Now, let's apply these truths to the modern stage. You see it every day. The political titan who wins an election, not on policy, but on emotion. The tech mogul who builds an empire, not with pure honesty, but with a reality distortion field. The influencer who becomes a celebrity, not with talent, but with a carefully curated persona. They are all playing the same ancient game. They are all wearing the mask. This is not a call to become a villain. It is a wake-up call to stop being naive. The world doesn't reward goodness. It rewards those who know how to use goodness as a mask and when to take it off. Let's get one thing straight. Playing dirty doesn't mean hurting others for fun. It means doing what others are too afraid to do. It means understanding that in a world built on competition, survival sometimes requires hard decisions, even if they look bad on the surface. Sometimes survival means saying no. You are taught to be kind, to always help. But deep down, you know that helping someone will cost you your time, your energy, your peace. And yet you help anyway because you don't want to seem selfish. That is a trap. The strong know you can't pour from an empty cup. Sometimes the strongest move is to walk away, to protect your space so you don't destroy yourself. Sometimes you need to wear a mask. You may not like your boss, your coworker, your client, but you smile anyway. You know someone is lying, but you pretend you don't. You act soft when you're planning your next move. Is that fake? Perhaps, but it is also smart. Power doesn't go to the most honest person in the room. It goes to the one who knows what to reveal and what to hide. The people who rise are not always the smartest or the most capable. They are the best performers. They know how to command a room, how to project confidence, charisma, and authority, even if they don't have it behind closed doors. They understand that authenticity is not enough. Power is about perception. You can have all the noble intentions in the world, but if you don't know how to play the game, you will get played. You can have the most brilliant idea, but if you can't sell the illusion, someone with a lesser idea and a better performance will beat you. The wisest players are rarely the ones who shout the truth. They're the ones who wait, who watch, who strike, not out of anger, but with precision. So now we come to the final question. The one that has been hanging in the air since we began this journey. Will you be the honest loser, betrayed, broke, but moral? Or will you be the quiet player who watched, who learned, who survived, and who changed the game from the inside? The world doesn't care how real you are, it cares how well you play the part, how long you last, and how sharp you strike when it matters. Don't lose your humanity. Just learn when to show it and when to sheath it, because in a world full of masks, maybe the realest thing you can do is wear one too. Your move.